Well, guys, we are finally back. The moment you've all been waiting for, the return of a career mode. It's not my team, it's something different. And I did this last year. It was a really successful series on my channel. You guys were given the option of two different series to vote for, and the winning outcome was the Williams Road to Glory. And that's what we're doing here today, and I feel like it's going to be a really interesting and spicy challenge because F1 2020 has a lot of features on it that last year's game didn't have, and therefore I think it's going to be a much tougher challenge this time round. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. If you are looking forward to it as well, then smash the like button, guys. Today's video is going to be the pre-season episode, so get subscribed for round 1 Australia, which will go out in 2 days time, so not tomorrow, the day after, so stay tuned for that. And this series is going to be all about taking Williams to the very top of Formula 1 once again. Today's episode, we're going to focus on the pre-season and all the kind of stuff we've got to do and get ready before Australia. So hopefully, guys, enjoy the video, and I'll be showing you my helmet very soon. And yeah, without further ado, let's crack into it, and let's see what the situation is heading into this challenge. This is it, guys. So here we go, the beginning of the Road to Glory. We are on the main menu, and of course what we're going to do is start off with a brand new driver career, overwriting the previous one that I had, which I'm not going to finish. So yeah, we're going to start from fresh, and we're going to jump straight into F1 with that option in the main menu. And of course, we're going to sign with Williams. So they're, of course, slowest team on the grid. And unlike my team, Williams are a lot further down. You know, they're the slowest team. When you start with my team, you don't start quite at the bottom. So this is going to be quite a challenge, which I'm very much looking forward to. Now, that side, we are going to be doing a full calendar, 22 races, guys. I was debating doing a shortened calendar, but I felt like, you know, it was only fair that we keep it realistic. I might shorten the calendar in a future episode or series, but for now we're going to keep it 22 races, and we're going to keep everything default. So very important. We then move into the kind of rules and regulations, and for this we are going to be running maximum difficulty, so 110% AI. We are running a full qualifying and also 50% race distance, so hopefully we can get a pretty, you know, decent and full experience out of that, running the maximum difficulty AI possible. We are going to be using flashbacks in case I have any issues. I am very open about my flashback use. I have used them before. I will use them if necessary. Also because, you know, mistakes aside, the AI do a lot of weird things, and you know, if I have a spin in practice, I'd rather just flashback and get on with it, you know what I mean? So for the sake of saving time, also screen freezes, stuff like that tends to happen in this game, so a flashback being on is always helpful. Apart from Aeon, vehicle damage on simulation, of course, we're going to run safety car. Corner cutting, I've gone for regular, not for strict. I feel like, again, there's a bit of inconsistency with track limits on the game, so we're going to go regular just to keep it safe and not get punished if we get pushed off the track by an AI car. Manual race starts, surface and carcass tyre attempts, and then we've got the driver moves on, of course. Hopefully we'll get some fun transfers, because so far in this game, the transfers have been absolutely terrible. And then one last thing, of course, to confirm, all my assists are going to be off for the entire series. So we've got that out of the way. We now move into the main menu, and as you can see, 25th of February, we have the car reveal on the 6th, and we already have 300 grand and 1,500 R&D points to spend, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend all of that now, because the quicker we get those developments underway, the more we're going to be in the mix and competing early on. So straight off the bat, we're going to put some upgrades on, and hopefully we can get those before the first race in Australia. That's the aim. So as you can see, looking first and foremost at the car performance graph, everyone's bringing upgrades, but you can see there's a bit of a gap to Alfa Romeo and Haas, and then there's a bit of a huge gap, to be fair, to AlphaTauri and Renault. So we've got a lot of work to do in terms of catching back up. Looking at the individual departments, first of all, the engine, you can see Williams, we are the 3rd quickest team. So the engine side of things can wait a little bit. There's no big rush. We can definitely afford to upgrade elsewhere. We then look at the chassis, and we are right at the very bottom. So yeah, we're pretty much neck and neck with Haas, but we've got a lot of work to do here to really try and catch up and close up to, you know, the higher teams on here. And then finally, it's going to be the aerodynamics. Now here, interestingly, actually, is even worse than the chassis. So this is by far our worst department. So logically, I'm going to make an investment and start spending money in this area. So with the 1,500 points that we start with, we are going to spend 1,000 of those on 2 separate upgrades, and in theory they should both arrive before the Australian Grand Prix, which is great. So we can start the season off already with a slightly improved car. We then look at the driver lineup, of course, myself and George Russell. George is an 84 rated driver, but as you can see, we have some driver perks, and I'm going to go ahead and spend my money on one of them, and that is going to be the development feedback for an extra 10% of R&D points, which is going to be really, really important in terms of, you know, pushing that forward and really trying to improve, you know, the car performance as quickly as possible. So yeah, we're going to need that because we're going to be quite restricted, I feel like, you know, in this entire career mode. We then skip ahead on the calendar, and we're going to pause on the 2nd of March, just before the car reveal, because we've got a few more R&D points. So we're going to go ahead and spend those on a chassis upgrade. And out of the two available, the rear floor under tray for the weight reduction is slightly more effective. So we're going to put that on the car, and that should arrive before Bahrain. So unfortunately, we can't quite get that on before Australia. We then skip ahead to the date of the car reveal, and of course, you guys know what the Williams looks like, but nonetheless, let's just appreciate how beautiful this car looks, considering it's not particularly fast, and let's be fair, I'm going to struggle to get some big results this year, at least in the first half of the season. So yeah, let's see what the Williams looks like, and then we're going to jump into the helmet reveal. So there she is, the car is revealed, of course, we're running the default livery, and then you can see the helmet, the brand new helmet we are running this year, and it's a bit of a modification of my Season 4 My Team design. We're kind of running a half and half helmet, white and navy blue, which is the Williams colours. And then in terms of little details, of course, sponsor-wise, we've got Lavazza, Acronis, and of course the big fat Williams logo and Sofina on the top of the helmet. Then elsewhere, of course, personal sponsor, Veloce Esports, a team I'm part of, running them on the bottom kind of section of the helmet. We Racers 1 on the visor strip and end racism as well, front and center, to send a clear message. And then at the back of the helmet, we Racers 1 once again with the logo, my number 97. And then if we look at the top of the helmet, it's my own logo, and in the background, we've got the Michael Schumacher top of helmet design, which of course Mick Schumacher will also be running in real life, because of course Michael's my hero and I love that design. So we're going to be running that. If you notice, it has no stars on it. I removed the stars because, again, I've not won any championships yet, so it would be illogical for me to run those stars. And then the little tribute in the hashtag to Jules Bianchi and Antoine Hubert. Now with that out of the way, you can see the car in all of its glory in the main menu, and we are going to simulate ahead to the 9th of March. And I was hoping to put on some more upgrades on this date, but I didn't quite get enough R&D points, so we skip ahead all the way to the 12th, which is race day. Unfortunately, we have had a failed upgrade. So as you can see on screen, the aerodynamic upgrade we had planned has not arrived, and of course the chassis one is in process for Bahrain. So we're only going to have one upgrade on the car for this race weekend. That's going to be for the aerodynamics on the front end of the car. The rear one has failed. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump back into the main menu. But first of all, before we do that, I'm going to quickly show you guys the facilities. And this is where I want to take a moment to talk about the series, because as you just saw, that upgrade failure is going to be a common theme in this series, because Williams have a very low budget, and this is where, unlike last year, I feel like developing this car is going to be a massive challenge, because as you can see, all of our departments are level 1 except for durability, which are level 2 in fabrication and build time. But the one we need to avoid failures is quality control, and that is level 1 everywhere. So it's not just about me, this career mode. Williams themselves as a team need to improve the facilities, because if this doesn't improve, then it's going to be very, very difficult for me to improve the car, you know, in a relatively short turnaround. So I'm hoping to do this series in 3 seasons, but if Williams slack off big time on this side of things, then we might be in big trouble, as a certain Jose Mourinho would say. Nonetheless, that is the kind of painting the picture of the series. We now jump back into the menu, and we are going to repurchase the failed rear downforce upgrade, and that should arrive for the Vietnam Grand Prix. So we've got, currently as it stands, upgrades for Australia, Bahrain and Vietnam. So we're looking pretty decent on that front. You know, the car will be hopefully constantly improving, but we've got a long way to go, and hopefully we can try and throw some more upgrades on at the end of round 1 in Australia. Nonetheless, guys, that is going to be it for the preview. As you can see, we are ready for the first race in Melbourne, and hopefully we can try and have a decent weekend. I'm not expecting much, to be honest with you. I reckon we're going to be struggling big time until maybe Spain, Monaco. Maybe Vietnam I could spring a surprise. That's been a good track for me in the past, but generally speaking, I'm not expecting any miracles until Monaco. That's kind of where I think we're going to really kickstart our season, basically, and have a big result. But for now, it's going to be pain, suffering, the worst car on the grid, and exactly the kind of content you guys love to see. So if you enjoyed the preview, leave a like, subscribe for more, guys, and let's see if we can try and smash it out the park with this series. You guys loved it last year, so let's try and do that again this year, and hopefully we can try and win the championship in less than 3 seasons. That's the aim. But guys, thank you for watching. Check out the videos on screen right now if you haven't done so already, and I'll be back in a couple of days for the first race in Australia. But until then, guys, take care, and it's goodbye from me.